Okay, let's get started. We will begin introductions. Welcome to the applicant Zoom conference for the fiscal year 2021-2022 Adult Education and Vocational School Zero-Emission Vehicle Technology Training Project Solicitation. To begin, allow me to introduce myself. I am Danny Liu, leading the CARB team responsible for the Adult Education and Vocational School Zero-Emission Vehicle Technology Training Project Solicitation. Desiree, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Desiree Wilson. I'm one of the leads for our workforce training and development here at CARB.
Please note that the responses given today are not set in stone. Our staff will do their best to address your questions, but it's important to recognize that the answers provided today might evolve. Each question submitted prior to this session and during this conference will be compiled into a document. This document will undergo careful review within CARB, which may lead to modifications or adjustments in the answers. This comprehensive document will be accessible on the Low Carbon Transportation Investments and Air Quality Improvement Program Grant Solicitations webpage by September 21st, 2023. Looks like our potential applicant numbers have stabilized, so let's start with the pre-submitted questions. We are now prepared to address the pre-submitted questions. Our aim today is to ensure that all questions are addressed. The applicant Zoom conference is scheduled to continue until 3 p.m. Okay, so for the pre-submitted questions, we have about 8 of them, and I'll be answering each one. Question number 1. Could you provide more details about the adult education program focused on clean air vehicles? Answer. The solicitation aims to offer and increase access to workforce training, skill development, job readiness, and professional growth, specifically designed to prepare individuals for careers in the clean transportation sector with a focus on priority populations. Funding for this project will support new or expand existing zero-emission vehicle technology training components for at least one zero-emission vehicle technology area, such as light, medium, and/or heavy-duty vehicles, heavy-duty off-road equipment and vessels, and electric vehicle charging and fueling infrastructures and components, systems, and/or parts. For more information, please consult Section A, Minimum Project Criteria, and Section B, Eligible Project Types of the fiscal year 2021-2022 Adult Education and Vocational School Zero-Emission Vehicle Technology Training Project Solicitation. Question number 2. What's the process for obtaining assistance to acquire an electric vehicle for both work and leisure purposes? Answer. The solicitation does not allocate funds for the procurement of electric vehicles for either work or leisure activities. Question number 3. The grant solicitation mentions fiscal year 2021-2022. Is this a mistake? Answer. The reference to fiscal year 2021-2022 in the grant solicitation is accurate. The grant funding is sourced from the fiscal year 2021-2022 funding plan for clean transportation incentives. Question number 4. Can a public charter school accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges exclusively serving students from 7th to 12th grade up to 21 years old receive grant funding? A public charter school accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges and exclusively catering to students from 7th to 12th grade up to 21 years old may be eligible for grant funding. Projects should support existing adult education or vocational school in developing new or strengthening existing zero-emission vehicle technology, infrastructure curriculum, and training programs that lead to job and career advancement for priority populations. Question number 5. Is a training resource center affiliated with a community college providing non-credit workforce training eligible for this grant? A training resource center associated with a community college offering non-credit workforce training may not be eligible to receive the grant. The solicitation is only open to California-based accredited nonprofit adult education or vocational school institutions. However, workforce training entities supporting zero-emission vehicle and electric vehicle charging and fueling equipment training and development may partner with an adult education or vocational school institution. Applicant. For more information, please consult Section 4, Eligibility of the solicitation. Question number 6. Can projects be combined with other local, state, or federal programs? Answer. Projects may be combined with other local, state, or federal programs. Match funds and/or in-kind services are not required for this project. Projects must include a description of any in-kind services and matching fund commitments, but will not provide any competitive advantage when CARB scores project proposals. For more information, please consult Attachment 3, Proposed Budget in Appendix A - Application of the solicitation. Question number 7. What is the upper limit for funding that a single applicant can apply for? Answer. The highest funding amount that a single applicant may request is $1.5 million. The proposed budget must demonstrate it is justifiable and reasonable to the project goals and tasks and demonstrates the need for state funding. Project proposals must include a description and a proposed budget for completing the scope of the project proposal, and the requirements of the solicitation. For more information, please consult Attachment 3, Proposed Budget in Appendix A - Application of the solicitation. And question number 8. Will this funding opportunity be available again in the future? Answer. Future funding is never guaranteed. CARB staff did not request additional workforce training and development funding in CARB's fiscal year 2022-2023 funding plan. However, existing CARB workforce projects are in the early stages of implementation, and some are still under development. CARB staff plans to evaluate once the projects are fully implemented to determine future workforce projects, needs, and/or additional funding. For more information or to participate in CARB's fiscal year 2022-2023 funding plan for clean transportation incentives, please visit CARB's Low Carbon Transportation Investments and Air Quality Improvement Programs, Meetings, and Workshops webpage. Okay, we are now going to open up verbal questions from the potential applicants of this Zoom conference.
Hello, everybody. I'm AJ Edwards with CARB. I'll be running the verbal questions. If you wish to make a comment or pose a question, kindly use the webinar's raise hand feature. For those participating via phone, please press #2 to indicate your interest. I will then announce your name and then ask you to unmute your line and you can talk. When you start speaking, please introduce yourself by stating your name and affiliation. I'm not seeing any hands raised.
We'll give it a minute.
Yeah. Questions or comments?
Just a reminder, this is the only opportunity to ask questions. After this Zoom conference is over, we will not be allowed to answer any questions.
Okay, I see Elaine Hessa has her hand raised. Please unmute yourself.
Hi there. I just want to ask about the detail in terms of the proposal for the workforce development programs. Like, how detailed do these usually have to be?
For these, for this solicitation, if you look in Appendix A application, the project proposal has to be at least 25 pages long, showing your proposal, the parameters that are within the solicitation that needs to be addressed.
Okay, thank you. And sorry, how many, I guess, schools could we potentially work with, or is it just like one institution or vocational school?
So each lead applicant could be one institution. If there wants to be additional institutions, there would be additional lead applicants for that.
Got it.
Just to provide more clarification, if one applicant wanted to work with more than one school, we would just ask that you identify that in your project proposal.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, last calls for questions.
How many, I guess if there's a lead applicant, how many partners, is there a max to how many partners they could have?
There is no limit on the amount of partners you could have, as long as they are working with zero-emission technologies for the purposes of a solicitation, then they are allowed to be partners.
And the 75-25 breakdown would still stand true, correct?
You repeat that again?
The 75% versus 25% would still stand true.
First glance coming out.
That is correct.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, I'm not seeing any more hands raised at this time. We'll give you attendees another minute to see if any questions come up.
Is there any material on the history of this grant, or is this the first time? Just seeing like typical what people who usually receive this grant and information on that sort of thing.
That's a great question. Could we turn to our CARB team for insights on this?
Hi, this is Naomi. Actually, yes, this is the first time that funding has been issued specifically for workforce training and development to support adult schools and vocational education institutions. There are other workforce training and development projects that are being funded through the funding funds from CARB. And different projects, but yes, specifically for this type of grant, yes, this is the first time that.
Okay, we'll wait for another minute to see if more questions arise.
Oh, do you know how many letters of support? I know it didn't really say a number on the application, but how many generally is expected, maybe? And also from who exactly would be, I guess, most beneficial?
So we don't have a requirement on the number of references. However, they do have to be a certain amount where we could understand that the applicant has the ability to have these projects implemented in the long term and throughout the project timeline. And then what was your second question, Elaine?
Like what types of agencies or organizations would be the most beneficial to, like, I guess, gain these to ask for the letters of support?
That's an excellent question. Can we turn to CARB team for insights on this?
Absolutely, thank you, Danny. Yeah, so letters of support are intended to provide community support that's being provided for the project. So it is to the benefit of the project proposals and the applicants to provide strong verifiable letters of support that are supporting, for example, there's a community partnership and outreach and engagement piece that you would have to make sure that it's part of your project. And so if there's any types of letters that or any community organizations that can support that you are able to that you have partnerships, that you have strong partnerships in the areas that you plan to implement the project, and if there's any engagement that's happened in the past that they can help vet and support the letters, that would be recommended. Also, letters that provide some type of insight as to the readiness of the institution and the ability to implement the project. If you guys are proposing innovative project types, any letters that can provide some type of support that demonstrates that would be helpful as well. If you identify any specific community or program benefits that are specific for the region or the project you're proposing, letters that can vet that too, or also support that, that would be recommended. And then just overall, like letters that say that you're able to implement the project and whatever you're proposing, you're able to implement those elements. Those are all recommendations for letters that you can provide. I think there's no limit on the letters you can provide, but anything that demonstrates that for us, along with the proposals that you're submitting, would be recommended.
Thank you. And tell me if there's anyone else that has a question, but how beneficial is it to also reference Justice 40 and like federal incentives for, I guess, general environmental justice and workforce development efforts?
Can we get insight on this question?
Sorry, can you repeat the first part of your question?
Is there any benefit in referencing the Federal Justice 40 program in terms of environmental justice and workforce development?
I'm going to jump in here. I'm Tabitha Wellman. We cannot give recommendations on benefits to referencing certain things or give you information on who to have as letters of recommendation. So we just have to stick to what is in the solicitation. Otherwise, we can't give recommendations.
Got it.
Thank you, Tabitha. I see Matt Post has raised his hand. Please introduce yourself by stating your name and affiliation and unmute yourself.
All right. Hello, my name is Matt Post with Hatch. I have a question. So the West Coast Center of Excellence in Zero Emission Technology had a program similar to what it seems like you're requesting. Is that still active, or are you looking for a similar program to what they had?
I'm not sure of this project that you're speaking of. Do we have any understanding of this from our CARP team?
I'll just jump in and say we're not familiar with that program. This program in particular is a standalone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take another minute here as some breathing room to see if there's any more questions that come up.
Okay. AJ, are there any questions or hands on your behalf?
No, I don't see any hands raised.
Okay, then we'll go to the conclusion. We extend our gratitude for your presence at the applicant Zoom conference. Following this session, our staff will not be able to accommodate new questions. The answers shared during this conference are provisional. Both the questions submitted via email prior to this event and those posed during the conference will undergo thorough evaluation. The final responses will be accessible on the Low Carbon Transportation Investments and Air Quality Improvement Program grant solicitations webpage by September 21st, 2023. Applications must be submitted no later than 5:00 p.m. on October 27, 2023. We thank you for your time.